11:11 p.m. You are not asleep. You are not fully awake either. You are somewhere in between, lying in the dark, phone in your hand, the room quiet around you, your mind louder than it has been all day. You check the time, 11:11, and for half a second, something in your chest tightens. Is this it? Is this the sign? Is this the universe finally saying, yes, go, yes, choose, yes, this is the path? So you stare at the screen a little longer. You wait for the feeling to become clearer. You wait for certainty to arrive like a voice in the room. But nothing happens. The number changes, the moment passes, and somehow, instead of feeling guided, you feel even more confused than before. So you close the app, then open it again 10 minutes later, just to check. Maybe there will be another sign, maybe another number, another quote, another song, another stranger saying the exact words you were secretly hoping to hear. And I want to say something tonight that may feel uncomfortable at first. That number on your screen was never going to save you. Not because the universe is silent. Maybe it is not silent at all. Maybe life is always speaking, but maybe it does not speak in the way you were trained to listen for. Maybe it does not always shout through numbers, feathers, songs, tarot cards, or coincidences. Maybe sometimes life speaks through the quiet pressure in your chest when you know you have outgrown something. Maybe it speaks through the exhaustion you keep calling just a season. Maybe it speaks through the part of you that already knows what to do, but keeps asking for one more confirmation because the answer would require you to change. You are not waiting for the answer. You are the answer. And by the end of this, I do not want that to be a beautiful sentence you agree with for a moment and forget by morning. I want you to feel it in your body. I want you to understand why you have been searching. I want you to see what waiting has quietly cost you. And most of all, I want you to leave this video with one small action. Not someday, not when you feel ready, not when the next sign appears. Tonight. Because sometimes the sign is not what shows up in front of you. Sometimes the sign is what finally wakes up inside you. This is MindSoul Audio. If tonight is the first night you have found this channel, maybe a part of you was already tired of waiting before you clicked this video. Maybe you are here because you have been circling the same question for weeks, months, maybe years. Maybe you keep asking life to confirm something you already know. If this is the kind of place your mind has been looking for, subscribe before the noise of the day pulls you away. You may want to find your way back here. Now let us be honest about something. You have checked the clock for repeating numbers. You have treated a random quote as if it were a private message from the universe. You have heard a song at the exact right moment and wondered if it was trying to tell you something. You have taken a feather on the sidewalk, a name that kept appearing, a dream you could not forget, a stranger's sentence, a tarot pull, a horoscope, a coincidence, and you have built an entire emotional case around it. Or, more accurately, you have not built a decision, and that is the real problem. Because looking for signs can feel sacred. It can feel like faith. It can feel like staying open, staying receptive, trusting divine timing, letting the universe lead. And sometimes, yes, there is wisdom in paying attention. There is wisdom in being awake to patterns. There is wisdom in noticing when life seems to echo something you are feeling inside. But here is what almost nobody will say directly. Most of the time, when you keep asking for signs, you are not deepening your spiritual connection. You are delaying your responsibility. You are taking the weight of choice and handing it to something outside you. You are saying, I will move when something gives me permission. And because that sounds spiritual, it does not feel like fear. It feels like surrender. But not all surrender is freedom. Sometimes, surrender is just avoidance wearing softer clothes. Sometimes what we call waiting for alignment is actually being terrified of the consequences of choosing. Sometimes what we call needing confirmation is really the hope that someone, somewhere, will make the decision for us so we do not have to carry it ourselves. I am not saying this to shame you. I have done this too. I have asked for signs when what I really needed was courage. I have confused intuition with anxiety. I have taken small coincidences and tried to make them responsible for decisions I was afraid to own. So tonight, we are going to look at this clearly, not harshly, clearly, because you cannot leave a loop you are still romanticizing, and you cannot become the answer while you are still addicted to asking the question. Chapter 1. The Sign-Seeking Trap. Here is the mechanism, plainly. A sign feels like proof, and proof feels safe. Because if you have proof, then you do not have to stand alone inside your decision. If the sign is strong enough, if the coincidence is strange enough, if the timing is perfect enough, then maybe you can move without feeling the fear of choosing. And if the decision goes wrong, you can tell yourself, I was only following what I was shown. That is the hidden comfort of sign-seeking. It gives you the feeling of guidance without the full weight of ownership. It gives you the feeling of movement without the risk of action. It lets you remain spiritually busy while your actual life stays unchanged. And here is the part that may mess with you a little. The more you look for signs, the more signs you will find. Not because reality suddenly becomes louder, but because your mind is powerful. Your attention is powerful. Once your brain is primed to search for a pattern, it will begin to find that pattern everywhere. A number on a receipt, a license plate in traffic, a name in a conversation, a sentence in a book, a song that appears at the exact moment your heart is soft enough to assign meaning to it. There is a psychological name for this: confirmation bias. Once you believe something may be meaningful, your mind begins collecting evidence to support it. And the strange thing is, the evidence can feel extremely convincing. It can make your body react. It can make your heart race. It can make you think, there is no way this is random. But notice something very important. If the sign was truly enough, why did you keep needing another one? Why did one number not settle it? Why did one dream not move you? Why did one quote not make you act? Why did one perfect coincidence give you a rush for an hour and then leave you searching again by night? Because the sign was never the missing piece. The decision was. The sign gave you emotion. The decision would have required identity, and that is a much deeper thing. Let me tell you about my friend Marcus. That is not his real name, because if he knew I was telling you this, he would probably disappear into the floor. Marcus hated his job. Not in the casual way people say, I hate Mondays. Not in the funny way people complain over coffee. He hated it in his body. He hated it in the way his stomach tightened every Sunday afternoon. He hated it in the way he became quiet on the drive to work. He hated it in the way he would sit in the parking lot at 8:58 in the morning, engine still running, hands on the steering wheel, breathing slowly, trying to find one more reason to walk inside. He was good at his job, that made it worse. Because when you are bad at something, leaving can feel obvious. But when you are good at something that is slowly emptying you, the prison becomes more convincing. Everyone tells you that you should be grateful. The paycheck is stable. The title looks respectable. The people around you say, at least you have security. And somewhere inside, you start wondering if your misery is just immaturity. So Marcus did what many people do. He did not choose. He waited. But he did not call it waiting. He called it listening. He said he was waiting for the right sign. If a client canceled a meeting, he thought, maybe this is a sign that I am supposed to leave. If his boss was kind to him that day, he thought, maybe this is a sign I should stay a little longer. If he saw a quote online about courage, he saved it. If he saw a quote online about patience, he saved that too. One week, he saw 3 ambulances in different parts of the city and told me, completely serious, that the universe was showing him his current path was unsustainable. 3 ambulances, in a city of 4 million people. Now, I am not telling you this to laugh at him, because he was not crazy. He was scared. And fear is very, very good at disguising itself as intuition. Fear knows that if it shows up as fear, you might challenge it. So it comes dressed as wisdom. It comes dressed as timing. It comes dressed as not yet. It comes dressed as just wait until you are sure. And the longer Marcus waited, the more complicated his life became in his mind. He did not just need to leave a job anymore. He needed the perfect plan. He needed the perfect exit. He needed the perfect emotional state. He needed a clear sign that would remove all doubt. But the truth is, he was not waiting for clarity. He was using the absence of clarity as a reason not to move. Then one Tuesday, nothing special happened. There was no dream, no number, no song, no sudden spiritual vision. He woke up tired. He made coffee. He sat at his kitchen table, and before his mind had time to build another argument, he opened his laptop and wrote the resignation email. One email, that was it. No dramatic music, no divine lightning, no perfect readiness, just one decision, typed with shaking hands. He told me later, "I did not feel ready. I just stopped waiting to feel ready." That sentence stayed with me, because most people think courage feels like confidence. It usually does not. Sometimes courage feels like sending the email while your hands are shaking. Sometimes courage feels like telling the truth before your voice stops trembling. Sometimes courage feels like taking one step while some part of you is still begging for a sign. And that is the whole secret. You are not waiting for the answer. You are the answer. You do not need a sign to start something. You need to stop asking whether it is time and begin moving as if the part of you that already knows can finally be trusted. Chapter 2. Why waiting keeps you stuck. Let us go deeper into what this costs you. Because waiting does not only cost time, it costs identity. Every day you wait for a sign, you are rehearsing a version of yourself. Not the version who chooses, not the version who acts, not the version who trusts what they know. You are rehearsing the version who stands at the edge of their life and says, "Not yet." And "not yet" is dangerous because it sounds temporary. It sounds responsible. It sounds wise. But "not yet" can become a home. You can live there for years. You can decorate it with spiritual language. You can call it patience. You can call it divine timing. You can call it waiting for alignment. But if nothing is being planted, nothing is being practiced, nothing is being risked, and nothing is being changed, then you are not in a season of patience. You are in a pattern of delay. I need to draw a clear line here. Patience and waiting for a sign are not the same thing. Patience is active. Patience is what happens after you have made a decision and planted the seed. You know what you are building. You are taking small steps. You are showing up. You are watering the ground. You are allowing time to do what only time can do. Waiting for a sign is different. Waiting for a sign is standing in an empty field, staring at the sky, hoping the weather tells you what to plant. There is no seed. There is no commitment. There is only a person trying to feel certain before they begin. And that is why waiting becomes so exhausting, because you are not resting. You are mentally circling. You are watching, scanning, interpreting, reinterpreting, looking for evidence, looking for reassurance, trying to make the world outside you say clearly what the quiet voice inside you has already been saying for a long time. Let us get specific, because vague self-help does not change lives. Specifics do. Work, you already know. Maybe you knew 6 months ago. Maybe you knew 2 years ago. Not from a sign, from your body, from the way your stomach drops around 6 p.m. every Sunday. From the way your energy changes when someone asks, "So, how is work going?" From the way you say, "It is fine," but your voice gets smaller when you say it. You keep waiting for something undeniable. A bad review, a betrayal, a layoff, a meeting so insulting that no one could blame you for leaving. You keep hoping life will make the decision so obvious that you no longer have to feel guilty for choosing yourself. But here is the truth nobody says out loud. Every one of those Sundays was already a message. Every morning you sat in the car and needed to convince yourself to walk inside was already a message. Every time your body became heavy before your mind created a reason was already a message. You did not need one more sign. You needed to trust the information you were already receiving. And maybe leaving is not the first step. Maybe the first step is updating your resume. Maybe it is telling one person the truth. Maybe it is applying for one job. Maybe it is opening a blank document and writing, What would I do if I stopped pretending this was fine? The answer does not always demand a dramatic exit, but it does demand honesty. Love. Maybe your waiting looks different there. Maybe you are not trying to leave. Maybe you are trying to enter. Maybe there is someone you care about, and part of you wants to be honest, but you keep waiting for proof that it is safe. You want a sign they will not reject you before you speak. You want a sign they will not leave before you become vulnerable. You want a sign that the relationship will work before you risk being fully seen. But love does not run on proof. Love runs on presence, and presence always contains risk. There is no sign that can guarantee another human being will never hurt you. There is no number on a clock that can promise someone will never change. There is no perfect timing that removes the vulnerability from being honest. So if you are waiting to be certain before you show up, you may wait until the relationship becomes too distant to save. Or maybe the relationship has already ended in your heart, but you keep asking for signs because choosing the truth would make you responsible for the grief. You wait for them to become worse. You wait for the final argument. You wait for one more piece of evidence that leaving would be justified. But deep down, you already know when your presence has left the room. You already know when love has become habit. You already know when staying is no longer devotion, but fear of becoming the person who has to walk away. Health. This one is quieter. Because with health, we often wait until the body screams. We ignore whispers. We ignore tiredness. We ignore the way our sleep changes. We ignore the way our face looks in the mirror when we have been betraying ourselves for too long. We normalize the habit, the food, the scrolling, the lack of movement, the way we speak to our body like it is an enemy we are forced to live with. And we wait for a wake-up call, a diagnosis, a warning, a scare, something loud enough to force the decision we were too afraid to make gently. But why does it have to get loud before you listen to yourself? Why does your life have to collapse before you call your own knowing valid? Why does the body have to become an emergency before you treat it like something sacred? Here is the pattern underneath all of it. Every day of waiting is a vote, not a neutral pause, a vote. Every time you say not yet to the action you already know is yours, you vote for the version of you that stays exactly where they are. That sentence may feel hard. Let it be hard, but do not let it become shame, because shame says, I am broken. Responsibility says, I am choosing. And if you are choosing, then you can choose differently. That is the power hidden inside the discomfort. If waiting has been a choice, then movement can be a choice too. If staying small has been practiced, then courage can be practiced. If you have spent years rehearsing the version of you that waits for permission, you can begin rehearsing the version of you that no longer needs it. Not because you suddenly feel fearless, but because you finally understand that fear was never a stop sign. It was just a sensation, and sensations can come with you. Chapter 3. What it means to become the answer. Earlier, I told you about Marcus. I told you that one ordinary Tuesday, he wrote the email before he felt ready. I want to be precise about what happened inside him, because this is the part almost nobody explains well. He did not get new information. He did not receive a better sign than the ambulances. His boss did not suddenly become worse. His job did not suddenly become more unbearable than it had been the week before. What changed was not outside him. What changed was the question he was living from. For years he had been asking, is it time? And on that Tuesday, whether he had words for it or not, he began asking a different question. What would the version of me who already knows do today? That is the shift. Becoming the answer does not mean you become arrogant. It does not mean you never listen to advice. It does not mean you ignore reality, abandon patience, or rush into reckless decisions. Becoming the answer means you stop treating your life like a courtroom, where every desire needs endless evidence before it is allowed to exist. It means you stop outsourcing your inner authority. It means you stop asking the world to approve the truth your own body has been carrying. There are 3 layers to this. You need all 3, not just the idea, the mechanics. The first layer is the mind. Most of your questions probably sound like this. Is this the right path? Is this the right person? Is this the right time? Is this the right choice? What if I choose wrong? What if I regret it? What if this is not meant for me? These questions feel responsible, but many of them are actually traps, because they place the answer somewhere outside you. They make your life dependent on permission from timing, fate, signs, other people, or perfect certainty. The shift is not to find better answers to those questions. The shift is to ask better questions. Instead of asking, "Is this the right path?" ask, "What kind of person would I become if I walked this path honestly?" Instead of asking, "Is this the right time?" ask, "What small step would I take if I stopped needing perfect timing?" Instead of asking, "What if I choose wrong?" ask, "Can I trust myself to learn, adjust, and return to truth, even if the first step is imperfect?" Instead of asking, "Is this meant for me?" ask, "Why does part of me keep returning to this?" Because sometimes your repeated desire is information. Sometimes the thing that will not leave you alone is not a distraction. Sometimes it is your life asking to be lived. The second layer is feeling. This is the part most people skip entirely. They try to think their way into change. They make plans. They write lists. They consume more content. They understand the concept, but they still live from the same inner state. And if the inner state does not change, the outer action becomes temporary. Becoming the answer means occupying the feeling of the person who already has what you are seeking, not pretending, not lying to yourself, not forcing positivity over pain. This is quieter than that. It is the decision to stop begging the future to give you permission to feel what you can begin practicing now. If you are waiting for confidence before you speak, practice speaking like someone who knows they belong. Not loudly, not arrogantly, just without apologizing for existing. If you are waiting for peace before you make the decision, practice breathing like someone who trusts themselves, even while the situation is unfinished. If you are waiting to feel chosen before you show up in love, practice showing up as someone who no longer performs for basic acceptance. If you are waiting for success before you respect yourself, practice treating your current self like someone worthy of care before the results arrive. This is what some teachings call living in the end, but let us make it real. Living in the end is not sitting on your bed pretending your life is perfect. It is not denying your circumstances. It is not repeating affirmations while your behavior stays exactly the same. Living in the end means asking, if the deepest part of me already knew I was safe to choose, how would I breathe right now? How would I stand? How would I speak? What would I stop explaining? What would I stop chasing? What would I stop checking? What would I do with my hands, my time, my energy, before any proof arrives? Because proof was never supposed to come first. The state comes first. The decision comes first. The identity comes first. And then action becomes a natural extension of that identity. Which brings us to the third layer. Action. One thing. Small. Concrete. Done today. Not a dramatic reinvention. Not burning your whole life down at midnight. Not sending 10 messages. Quitting everything. Moving cities. And calling it destiny. One thing. A real thing. A thing the version of you who already decided would do. Marcus wrote one email. That was his action. For someone else, it might be deleting one app, or writing one honest paragraph, or booking one appointment, or setting one boundary, or drinking water before bed instead of punishing the body again, or opening the file, or closing the door, or saying, "I cannot keep pretending this is fine." The size of the action is not what makes it powerful. The identity behind it is what makes it powerful. A small action done from a new identity is stronger than a dramatic action done from panic. This is why signs never satisfy for long. A sign gives you a feeling, but action gives you evidence. Not evidence from the universe, evidence from yourself. Every time you do what the already arrived version of you would do, you teach your nervous system a new truth. I can move before I am certain. I can choose before I am approved. I can act before I feel completely ready. I can become the proof I kept asking for. That is why the sentence matters. You are not waiting for the answer. You are the answer. Not after you fix everything. Not after you become perfectly healed. Not after another video, another reading, another sign, another month of thinking. Now, as you are, with fear still in the room, with doubt still making noise, with your hands maybe not perfectly steady, you can still choose. Let that be uncomfortable if it needs to be. That discomfort is not a warning. It may simply be the old habit loosening its grip. Chapter 4. 3 questions. Now we move from understanding into practice. Because insight is beautiful, but insight without action becomes another form of entertainment. You can listen to 1,000 videos that tell you who you could become. You can save quotes. You can highlight books. You can nod along in the dark and feel, for a few minutes, like something has changed. But if nothing changes after the feeling fades, then the video became another sign you consumed instead of a doorway you walked through. So tonight, I want to give you 3 questions. Not complicated questions, honest questions. And after each one, I want you to let there be silence. Do not rush to answer with the part of you that wants to sound wise. Do not answer from fear. Do not answer from what your friends would say. Do not answer from what would look impressive. Let the first honest answer rise. It may be small. It may be inconvenient. It may be softer than you expected. It may not be the dramatic thing your mind keeps circling. But honesty often begins quietly. Question 1. If no one on earth were telling me what to do, not a sign, not a friend, not fear, not my past, not the version of me who wants everyone to approve, what would I choose right now? Let that question land, because most of us do not realize how crowded our inner world has become. We think we are choosing, but often we are consulting a room full of invisible voices, a parent's disappointment, a friend's opinion, a stranger's success, an old failure, a spiritual rule we half understand, a fear that speaks in the tone of wisdom, a version of ourselves from 5 years ago who still believes safety means staying the same. So ask again, more quietly. If the room went silent, what would I choose? Not what would be easy, not what would be guaranteed, not what would impress people. What would be true? Question 2. Right now, today, am I acting like the version of me that is still waiting for permission, or the version that already decided? This question matters, because your identity is revealed in small behaviors, not in what you say you believe, in what you repeat. The version of you, still waiting for permission, keeps checking, keeps asking, keeps circling, keeps refreshing the page, keeps looking for one more sign, one more opinion, one more reason, one more guarantee. The version of you that already decided behaves differently. They may still feel fear. They may still have questions, but their behavior has a direction. They take the next small step. They simplify. They stop feeding the loop. They stop confusing more information with more clarity. So look at today, not your whole life, just today. What did your actions vote for? Did they vote for the old story, or did they vote for the new identity? And if the answer is uncomfortable, do not turn it into shame. Turn it into information. Because the point is not to punish yourself for waiting. The point is to notice where waiting is still running your life. Question 3. If today were the day I stopped waiting, not someday, not when I feel ready, not when life sends one more sign, what is the one small thing I would do before I go to sleep tonight? One small thing, that is all. Not a life plan, not a 10-year vision, not a perfect transformation. One thing, because your mind may try to make this too big. It may say, if I really change, I have to change everything. No, that is another way fear keeps you still. You do not need to change everything tonight. You need to break the spell of waiting. And spells are broken by action, small action, honest action. Action that proves to your body, I am not trapped in the old rhythm. Maybe the one thing is writing the message. Maybe it is not sending it yet, just writing it honestly. Maybe it is setting the alarm. Maybe it is cleaning one corner of the room because the version of you who respects themselves does not abandon their environment. Maybe it is opening the document. Maybe it is deleting the number. Maybe it is praying without asking for a sign, and instead asking for courage. Maybe it is looking in the mirror and saying, "I know." Just that. I know. Because many of you do know. You are not confused. You are afraid of what clarity will require, and that is human. But you do not need to wait until fear disappears. You only need to stop letting fear hold the pen. So ask yourself one final time, what is the one small thing I will do before I sleep tonight? You do not need certainty. You do not need a dramatic feeling. You do not need the universe to underline the answer in gold. You need honesty for about 10 seconds. Because that is usually all it takes for the real answer to surface. It has been in you this whole time. It did not need a sign to exist. It only needed you to stop looking away from it. Guided visualization. If you are somewhere safe, let your eyes close. Let your phone rest. Let your hands soften. Let your shoulders drop just a little. Take a slow breath in through your nose. Hold it gently for a moment, and let it go slower than it came in. Again. In, hold, and out. One more time. In and out. Now I want you to picture a specific moment, not a vague future, not some perfect life where everything has been solved. A real moment. Maybe it is tomorrow morning, ordinary light coming through a window you recognize. Maybe the room is quiet. Maybe there is a cup of coffee on the table. Maybe you are tying your shoes. Maybe you are standing in front of a door. Maybe you are sitting at your desk with one blank page open in front of you. Nothing dramatic is happening. And yet something is different. You are not checking your phone for a sign. You are not scanning the world for permission. You are not asking the sky to tell you what your own heart has already whispered. Notice your hands. They are calm. Not because life is perfect, because you are no longer arguing with what you know. Notice your shoulders, lower than usual. Notice your breath, slower, fuller. Like some part of you has stopped running in circles. This is the version of you that stopped waiting. Not because everything was resolved first, but because they decided first, and let the resolving follow. Now picture yourself, taking one small action, the action you named earlier. See it clearly. Maybe you open the document. Maybe you write the message. Maybe you close the app. Maybe you set the boundary. Maybe you drink the water. Maybe you place your hand on your chest and admit the truth you have been avoiding. See yourself doing it. Not perfectly, not dramatically, simply, honestly. Let your body feel what it is like to move without needing one more sign. Let the decision settle into your chest, solid, warm, quiet, like something you could rest your hand on. Now, gently, in your mind, let these words land, not as a performance, not as something you are trying to force, but as something you are remembering. I am not searching anymore. I already carry what I was looking for. I stopped asking the sky. I started listening to the quiet thing underneath it. I do not need perfect certainty to take one honest step. I can move with fear beside me. I can choose before I feel ready. I can become the proof I kept asking for. Stay here for a moment. Do not analyze it. Do not explain it. Just be in it. The way you would sit in warm water and let it hold you. The way morning light enters a room without asking permission. The way a seed breaks open underground before anyone sees the first sign of growth. Something in you can begin before the world applauds it. Something in you can know before the evidence arrives. Something in you can move before the fear leaves. And when you are ready, with no rush, let your awareness return gently to the room around you. Feel the surface beneath you. Feel the air around you. Feel your breath moving in and out. Bring this feeling back with you. Do not leave it in the quiet. Let it walk into tomorrow with you. Let it sit beside you when the old habit asks for another sign. Let it remind you the answer was not somewhere far away. It was underneath the noise. It was underneath the fear. It was underneath the waiting. It was you. You did not find this video by accident tonight. Maybe some part of you was already done waiting before the first word was spoken. Maybe that is why you stayed. Maybe that is why something in you feels quieter now. You are not waiting for the answer. You are the answer. You always were. Tonight, do not ask for one more sign. Let your next action be the sign. Before you go, tell me in the comments, what is the one small thing you are going to do tonight, before you sleep, that the already arrived version of you would do, not someday, tonight? I will be reading them, and maybe someone else will read your comment and realize they are not the only one trying to stop waiting. This is MindSoul Audio. If tonight was the night something in you finally exhaled, there is more waiting for you here. Come back for it. Rest well, and remember, you already have everything you came here looking for.